was a gift from my mom. This book is called The Free People's Village. By Kern. This is a novel. I'm about that much of the way through it. This book takes place in Houston in 2020, and it takes place in an alternate reality where Al Gore won the election in 2000, and instead of the war on terror being declared as it was, there was instead the war on climate, I believe is what they call it in the book. And so the world, while it looks really similar, is vastly different. And the book centers around a young woman named Maddie, who is a teacher in Houston and becomes part of this movement, kind of happenstancely, to stop the Texas Department of Transportation from building this highway through a community that's mostly people of color and that's being really quickly gentrified. And I'm really enjoying it so much. I feel like I'm learning a lot. It's also a really good, representation, I feel like, of, the experiences of, becoming radicalized, and, starting to really see this character is in her 20s, and, to start to see in your 20s the kind of injustices, in the system that you live in, because even though, Gore won the election in this hypothetical book, and instead of going to war in the Middle East, there was this war on the climate, war on climate change, and so everyone is trying to save the planet, and that's really more prioritized. So many of the same cultural underpinnings that still exist in this book: racism, sexism, homophobia, and I think Kern really created this world that is so believable. Initially it felt a little heavy-handed, but it is so reminiscent of the world we live in, and the way that, oftentimes I feel like when the government is trying to solve a problem, they kind of paint it to be oh, and we solved it and it's fixed now, where really so many people, especially people who are the most marginalized, are still bearing the brunt of that issue. Do you know what I mean? And so, first of all, as just a simple thought experiment, this book is masterful, but also the characters are so infectious and the setting is so vivid. I'm enjoying it so much. Would highly recommend. Oh, it's not focusing. It thinks the mic is me. That's not right. Yeah, I also just love the graphic quality of it. comes like a poster, I'm pretty sure. I unfold it, but I haven't unfolded it all the way. So, yeah. It's really a fantastic book. I'll tell you more about it once I finish it. I'm really glad it's the first book I picked up this year. That was a total surprise. It wasn't on my list at all. Kern is I believe is like a teacher as well. Is that right? Oh, Kern used to be a teacher. They are an author and environmental journalist. I was made aware of their work when I saw them posting about the war in Palestine, and I think they really helped me clarify my views, like, as a Jewish person, as they are as well, who is, like, very against the genocide that's taking place in Palestine right now. I just think, like, watching their videos really, like, clarified and crystallized kind of how I feel, and the discomfort that I felt seeing various aspects of that discourse online. Yeah. The way that I feel like anti-Semitism has been weaponized to mean that anytime that you're criticizing Israel, you're being anti-Semitic, which I don't think is correct. And I realize that might feel complicated, especially for, like, American Jews, and it's the way that I see it. Anyway, Kern, really interesting person. Go check them out. Also, this book is great. The next book I've been wanting to read for so long. This is Leaving the Atocha Station by Lerner. My dad gave this to me, and it had been on my wish list, but I'd totally forgotten. I first read Lerner in college. One of my favorite English professors had us read his other book, 10:04. 10:35 is the song by Tate McRae. 10:04 is the book by Lerner. And, oh yeah, I really, really enjoyed 10:04. I think I was, like, I would be curious to read it again. Because, yeah, it just feels like one of those timeless kind of books. I was thinking I wasn't really on that much of an introspective place when I was in college, and I was reading it so much for, like, an English class, you know, to, like, whatever, and I would be curious to read it again now. And I truly do not know what this book is about. I don't, so we could read the dust cover, the little inside flap. Not a dust cover, a dust flap. That doesn't feel right either. Adam Gordon is brilliant, if highly unreliable. Young American poet on a prestigious fellowship in Madrid, struggling to establish his sense of self and his relationship to art. Instead of following the dictates of his fellowship, Adam's quote-unquote research becomes a meditation on the possibility of the genuine in the arts and beyond. Is poetry an essential art form, or merely a screen for the reader's projections? Are his relationships with the people he meets in Spain as fraudulent as he fears his poems are? A witness to the 2004 Madrid train bombings and their aftermath. Does he participate in historic events, or merely watch them pass him by? In prose that veers between the comic and tragic, the self-contemptuous and the inspired, Leaving the Atocha Station is a portrait of the artist as a young man in the age of Google searches, pharmaceuticals, and spectacle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to read this. Somebody recently, I remember them talking about this, like, they were, like, suggesting philosophical texts, and they were like, read this, and I was like, I had no idea. Oh, sticky. Okay, these shame, no shade, but when she wrapped these books, she taped the wrapping paper to the front of the book, and one of her fucking tapes she used is like not coming off. It just left like on this book and the other book she gave me this like sticky ass mark, and I really hate it. Like, sticky things for me are a sensory thing that I cannot fuck with. So anyway, I'll continue to pick at that for the foreseeable future. I had a hard copy of this book for a couple of years at least. I got it in a book of the month, and I had just never picked it up. I'd never read it. I'd never been like interested in it, and so I gave it away. I gave it as a gift to a friend, and then like it popped back up on my radar because like a couple people whose taste I really respect were just reading it, and I was like, oh fuck, like I do want to read that, like, because I loved Circe by Madeline Miller. It's like, this feels like a similar vibe. I do love Greek mythology. So yeah, my cousin gave it to me, which I'm also glad for, because I do despise a hardback book, and I do love a paperback book. Like, there's just something about it. So this story revolves around Ariadne, the Princess of Crete, and she grows up listening to her nursemaid's stories of gods and heroes. When Theseus, Prince of Athens, arrives to vanquish the Minotaur, her brother, Ariadne sees in his green eyes not a threat but an escape. Defying the gods, betraying her family and country, and risking everything for love, Ariadne helps Theseus kill the beast. But will Ariadne's decision ensure her happy ending? And what of Phaedra, her beloved younger sister, she leaves behind? Anyway, very stoked on this. The other book that my cousin gave me that she also put tape on the cover of, I swear to God, don't do that. Like, don't do that. Okay, I feel like you understand. I feel like I don't have to tell you this. This one got like truly fucked up by it. This is I Who Have Never Known Man. It's such a like picky little like shitty thing to complain about, I realize. And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm just a real life girl. Sorry, my phone's blowing up because my mother is really excited that it's snowing and is texting me about it. I'm also really excited. It's only supposed to snow for like this hour, so maybe I should go and participate in it. But I just also think the like joy of snow is watching it from inside. This is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline. And this story is about this group of women who are kept in a cave underground, and they have no memory of how they got there and don't really remember their lives before. And they're down there like for years, and then this like young girl is like gonna escape, somehow like helps them escape. And I don't know, I am just really curious about what, like, first of all, the setting is so sinister. Like, all these women don't really know how they got there. They're like underground and trapped, and like the guards keep them really like under, you know, tight watch. And then somehow this young girl is gonna like help them escape. And I don't know where we'll go, and that is so tantalizing. The next book is one that my mom gave me. This is Salt Houses. What's this? Doing this backwards in the viewfinder is definitely a challenge. By Hala, Alyan. On the eve of her daughter Alia's wedding, Salama reads the girl's future in a cup of coffee dregs. She sees an unsettled life for Alia and her children. She also sees travel and luck. While will soon all come to pass when the family is uprooted in the wake of the Six-Day War of 1967. Elegant and powerful, Salt Houses follows 3 generations of a Palestinian family as they scatter across the globe and brings us to a greater understanding of how, quote, we carry our origins in our hearts wherever we may roam, which is a quote by Rue Freeman. My mom was really cute. She got me and my dad books about Palestine. So, and she was like, we're gonna have a little book group and we're gonna read them and we're gonna trade them. And I was like, okay, sounds great. Let's do that. So this was that book. When was it written? 2017. The thing that I keep thinking about and seeing is just like how long Palestinian people have been telling the story of the cruelty inflicted against them by, Israel, and how on what deaf ears that has fallen, and how ignorant I have been to that. Though I've always kind of felt supportive of Palestine, I've not been so aware, and I feel like in watching this war and genocide unfold, I'm really, really saddened by the way in which so many remain so unaffected and are disaffected, The next book was one that was on my wish list. This is Foster, by Claire Keegan. I recently read a Claire Keegan book that now I'm totally blanking on the name of. If you know it, you know it. You have a better memory than me. What did she write? That's the name. It's a hot summer in rural Ireland. A child's taken by her father to live with relatives on a farm, not knowing when or if she'll be brought home again. In the Kinsella's house, she finds an affection and warmth she had not known, and slowly, in their care, begins to blossom. But there is something unspoken in this new household, where everything is so well done to do, and the summer must soon come to an end. Claire Keegan is such an excellent storyteller, and I'm really excited to read this book. The next book is This Is How You Lose the Time War. This is a book that I've seen so many people so highly recommend, and I'm really excited to read. It's a book that I think entirely takes place in correspondence, with 2 people in correspondence with one another. In the ashes of a dying world, Red finds a letter marked "Burn Before Reading." So begins an unlikely correspondence between 2 rival agents in a war that stretches through the vast reaches of time and space. Red belongs to the agency, a post-singularity technotopia. Blue belongs to a garden, to garden a single vast consciousness embedded in all organic matter. Their pasts are bloody, and their future is mutually exclusive. They have nothing in common, save that they're the best and they're alone. Now what began as a battlefield post grows into a dangerous game, one both red and blue are determined to win, because winning's what you do in war, isn't it? A tour de force collaboration from 2 powerhouse writers that spans the whole of time and space. And then a quote from Booklist says, a twisting, sapphic time travel fantasy love story that never stops surprising. Readers will reach the end and want to turn back to the holy shit, this was good. So, there you go. This next book is by an author that my parents went to go see speak this year. The book is called A Man of Two Faces, a memoir, a history, a memorial, and I don't know anything about this book. A highly original, blistering, and unconventional memoir by the Pulitzer Prize-winning author of The Sympathizer. With insight, humor, formal invention, and lyricism, in A Man of Two Faces, Viet Nguyen, I don't know if I said that right, rewinds the film of his own life. He expands the genre of personal memoir by acknowledging the larger stories of refugeehood, colonization, and ideas about Vietnam and America, writing with his trademark sardonic wit and incisive analysis, as well as a deep emotional openness about his life as a father and a son. At the age of 4, Nguyen and his family are forced to flee his hometown and come to the USA as refugees. After being removed from his brother and parents and sent to live with American sponsors on his own, Nguyen is later allowed to rejoin his family and moves to suburban San Jose. But there's violence hidden behind the sunny facade of what he calls America, TM. Anyway, it goes into like more detail than I'm gonna give, because I don't want to give the whole book to you. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this. They both really enjoyed his lecture that they saw. And the last book is another book that was not on my wish list, but my mom gave me. This is called A Day in the Life of Abed, Salama, Anatomy of a Jerusalem Tragedy by Thrall. And apparently this book takes place all over one day about a family, I believe a Palestinian family, and going on like a trip to a theme park outside of Jerusalem, and just like I don't know if like an acute tragedy takes place, though I believe that it does, but just the experience of being a Palestinian living in like a world that's so controlled by the Israeli government, and like not having the right papers, and like all of the minutiae that makes life so painful, in addition to all the violence that they experience as well. Oh, I see. There's like a car crash, and then they get taken to like the children who are in the car crash get taken into 2 different hospitals, and like it says it's every parent's worst nightmare. But for Abed, it's compounded by the maze of physical, emotional, and bureaucratic obstacles he must navigate because he is Palestinian. He is on the wrong side of the separation wall, holds the wrong ID to pass the military checkpoints, and has the wrong papers to enter the city of Jerusalem. And then his quest to find his son is interwoven with the stories of a cast of Jewish and Palestinian characters whose lives and histories unexpectedly converge. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to reading this. Oh, here's a quote from who wrote Call Me By Your Name. In this luminous story of Palestinians striving to live under Israeli rule, there is so much cruelty. this world for its actions.